Hey guys, I'm here today working on how to use details from the text to help draw inferences or to help me come up with ideas about what the author is explaining to us by looking closer at their details. And it's Monday. I'm going to click on Monday's writing task, and I'm going to show you a way to help you take notes while you're reading and answer the question by referring to the details in the text. So I click on Monday's task, and I have a writing task. I'm going to be working on question number 2. Why do the animals have no place to rest? So I'm going to really need to go back to pages 3 and 4 in order to remind myself why the animals had no place to rest and to get a closer look at the details that the author used to help me to understand this problem the animals were having. I do worry that when I go back to my text, I might forget the question, or while I'm reading the text, I might forget the details when I come back to my essay writer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this question and I'm going to copy it. And I know you guys are experts at copying and pasting because we've been working on that for a full week. So it will be quite easy for you to practice this routine when you're working as well, just to copy that question. And now I'm going to go back to page 3 and 4. So I'm going to click here on my text. And I'm going to open my text, and here I am. This is page 3 and 4, exactly where I want to be. And I know I copied that question, but where here would I be able to paste that question so that I can keep it in mind while I'm looking for the details that help me answer it? If I look over to the right, I can click on my journal, and I'm going to add a note. I'm going to call this Florida Panther. And if I click underneath, I can put a note here, and watch, I can right click and paste my question. Now I can move this box a little bit down out of my way while I'm reading, and I can read the text to find the details that help me answer this question. So I'm able to look at the question and the text at the same time. This is going to set me up for success in answering this question. So again, I'm looking for why the animals have no place to rest.
Felina was growing, but it seemed her forest was shrinking. One day she went to take a nap under her favorite trees, but the trees had vanished. Without my trees to shade me, where can I rest? Felina mumbled.
So in this part of the story, I'm hearing that Felina recognizes that she doesn't have a place to rest. And I'm starting to see that there's this detail that the trees had vanished. So when I'm thinking, why do the animals have no place to rest? The author doesn't tell me that the trees vanishing means Felina can't rest, but I know that she's trying to rest in the shade, and therefore she needs trees. That's my prior knowledge. So I'm going to go ahead and add that detail here. Trees had vanished. I'm going to add that detail just as a note. I think I'll number it 1 to help me keep my notes organized. So why didn't she have a place to rest? The trees had vanished. That's what the author wrote here. And she says, without her trees to shade me, where can she rest? So she needs trees for shade. I'm going to add that to this note. Trees had vanished, comma, needs shade to rest. Okay, that makes sense. I've been to the beach before. I've tried to rest in the hot sun. It's not very easy to do. Let me continue reading and see what other details I can find, because it does say animals, and that's only telling me about Felina. So I want to read the whole page and gather as many details from the author as I can.
We wondered that too, a tiny voice said. Felina looked around and saw a pair of red cockaded woodpeckers staring at the barren field. We used to rest inside the holes in these trees, the father woodpecker added. And that's where we would raise our family, said the mother woodpecker. Now we don't know what to do. If only the trees were still here, we'd both have a place to rest, Felina said to the couple.
Okay, I'm noticing a few more details that help me understand why the animals have no place to rest. I know that they're staring at the barren field. I think barren means the same as bare. I'm going to click on that and view in the dictionary just to make sure. Sure enough, it says growing only poor or few plants. So if the field has only poor or few plants, those would not be providing trees. So I'm going to use this note, barren field. And I do want to show you another trick in Mayan. If I go to my tools, I can select a color and a highlighting tool to highlight some of these details, the barren field. I want to remember that when I'm taking my notes, but I'm going to read on. We used to rest inside the holes in these trees, the father woodpecker added, and that's where we would raise our family. So rest inside holes of trees, raise their family. Now we don't know what to do. If only the trees were still here, we'd both have a place to rest. So I know that the problem is that the trees are not there. It's a barren field, and they used to rest in those trees to raise their families. So I'm going to add these notes, but notice I'm keeping that area highlighted so that I can quickly take the notes right here. I'm going to put bare in my notes, so I remember that barren means it's a bare field with no trees. Woodpeckers rest in holes in trees. Okay, I'm going to leave the part about raising their family because it says my question is asking why they have no place to rest, and that's not really related. So I'm going to leave that out. So why do the animals have no place to rest? Because the trees had vanished. They need shade to rest. And there's a bare field with no trees for the woodpeckers to rest. Oh, I better add up here on this first note that that was for Felina, the panther. Okay, now I have two good notes to answer that question. And I'm going to go ahead and close my journal. I'm continuing to look. I'm going to go ahead and close my journal. And I'm going to go back to my project. I'm going to click on my writing task. Remember, I'm answering that question. So first thing we do is we copy the questions into our essay writer. And now I can begin my answer. So lucky for me, I did that work while I was reading of having my journal open, and my journal is right here. Florida Panther. There are my notes. I'm going to actually take those notes, copy them. I'm going to go to my essay writer and I'm going to paste them. And I'm going to click down and kind of get them out of my way so I can start using them to, I'm going to look at these to write my answer, and then I'm going to erase them and get them away, my notes. But this has everything now on this one page, so I can quickly answer my question and look at my notes at the same time directly from the text. So I don't want to use that word. I don't want to copy the text directly. So I'm going to paraphrase what the author said about the trees vanishing, I'm going to say the trees had I'm going to end that sentence. I'm going to add some of my own knowledge. Okay, so my answer is complete. I have put some of the information I know from my background knowledge that it is too hot in the Florida sun for animals to just rest with no shade from trees. We know that from our own background knowledge that pets and other things need to have a safe, shady spot to rest. And the text said that there was the panther noticed the trees had vanished and there was no shade, so I rewrote that into my own sentence. So my complete answer is the animals have no place to rest because the trees have disappeared. Now there is no shade for the panther to rest under. The Florida sun is too hot to rest below without shade from trees. I double checked that with my question, why do the animals have no place to rest? I think yes, my answer is complete. So I'm going to go ahead and click save.